Off, John. Well, thank you. Thanksgiving is just a week away, so if you're hosting family or throwing your first Friendsgiving, entertaining in a city apartment can be a challenge. So it's time to get planning, and the experts at Bon Appetit say the big meal should not be a big headache. They have done the hard work for us, testing recipes, coming up with a game plan to make our lives much easier. And joining us now is an associate editor at the magazine, Christina Che. So welcome, Christina. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I think we're going to have you pulled up here. There we are, Christina, the reveal. So can we really host in a small kitchen?
100%. And I think that there's this myth that we as New Yorkers are putting shoes in the oven, you know, we're
Thanks
like
to Sex and the City.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very classic motif. I do think, however, that more and more people are really getting into the idea of hosting and making their spaces work for them. So 100%, you can make it work.
You can make these things work, and so we are going to look at some ideas to get ready for Thanksgiving. We do have a list of ideas here to pull up for you. So getting ready, it says there. So planning in advance. How much time do we need to prep?
So we're talking about Friendsgiving, which is nice because it's so much more forgiving than regular Thanksgiving. You kind of want to give yourself maybe a couple of weeks, but the great thing is that you can ask other people to help you.
Right, and if you are looking at your screen, we see here, so choose dining style, make your menu fit your space, reposition your furniture. Okay, so you're doing some interior decorating as well.
Well, basically, I think the idea is that, you know, it's one night. You're probably not having 20 people in your apartment all the time, but on the one night you do, make it work. So I think part of that is about, you know, figuring out whether you have the space to have everyone do a sit-down meal. If so, great. And if you don't,
then
set up a buffet on your kitchen counter. Have everyone grab a plate and help themselves. And it's just about working with the space that you have. And I've done this before. I've done this for many years. And in different apartments where I've had people stand, I've had people sit on a coffee table, you know, around a coffee table.
Sit, stand, it all
works. On a coffee table too once, actually.
Everybody grab a plate. And what if, though, your plates, your cups, everything doesn't match? I know I've acquired things over the years, and I don't have that beautiful set like our traditional parents or grandparents might have.
The thing is that is actually the cool thing now.
So we're on trend.
It is something that, it's something that I think you're seeing a lot at restaurants, these very kitschy, mismatched, you know, vintage pieces that they're putting together. And it kind of adds to the idea that Friendsgiving doesn't have to feel like a formal affair. You don't have to use family china. You can use what you have, and it's just your friends, and everyone's going to be fine. And
we're looking at a picture right now. What was that? There was a bunch of dots on the dining room table. Is that a unique twist?
I, in fact, missed the picture.
Missed the picture. Well, maybe we can bring it back up there to see. That's okay if we don't. We can keep it moving. Oh, I hear it is coming back. There we go. We've got it.
There you go. So yeah, that was a page from the November 2019 issue featuring a beautiful table runner as an alternative to a tablecloth.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. Very colorful. Something you can do yourself. So, of course, we want to get to the food. So you've got a couple tips for us, and one of them surprised me. So don't do it yourself. Does that mean order in?
It means that you should not be afraid to ask your friends for help. I think with most Friendsgivings, it's most common to have people bring dishes potluck style. But as the host, you have the power to ask people for specific things if you need them, so that you're not having 5 friends show up with 5 different mashed potatoes.
Right. Bring a salad, bring desserts, yes.
Don't be afraid to direct that.
And then it also says here, simplify your menu and make some things ahead of time.
Yes, I think that as the host, no one's expecting you to put on, you know, salad to pie and everything in between. I think you should pick the things you really care about. If that's turkey, if that's potatoes, if that's something else entirely. Pick those things and then ask everyone to fill in the gaps.
And then what about, how do you keep all those things hot? We were mentioning a small oven. Can you really fit it all in there?
The secret is you don't. You strategically choose. You basically choose the things you care about wanting to serve hot the most, which for most people is probably going to be the turkey, gravy, maybe a couple of other things. But otherwise, it's all about picking things that can be perfectly delicious at room temperature. Roasted vegetables, dinner rolls, what have you.
Right, everything else. And you mentioned the vegetables. I mean, what about people with dietary restrictions? They're vegan, they're vegetarian, gluten-free.
So that's a case where I absolutely would ask people to let me know about those dietary restrictions ahead of time. But also the nice thing about having it potluck style is that those people are more than welcome to bring the thing that they are excited to eat. And if it just so happens to be vegan or gluten-free, you know, as long as it's delicious and someone made it themselves, no one's going to notice that it's,
Yeah, no one's going to notice that it's not exactly what was planned. And yeah, everyone coming together, having a good time.
Exactly.
Well, I thank you so much, Christina, for being here. Lots of really great tips for us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And happy early Thanksgiving to you. And coming up, we'll have a rundown of this week's forecast and your streaming